How are you? Thank you so
I'm
much for
good.
joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to chat with me. First off, I want to start off by asking you, what has your experience been like as an au pair in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, roller coaster.
Yeah,
It's like a yin and yang
yeah.
situation. So first it was the white fish, and then it was like the black fish. Cause yeah, I experienced quite. I don't know. Each house was different.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it was a bit of a roller coaster.
You au paired for how many families?
Three,
Three?
three families, each a year.
Okay, got you. And
Yeah.
how was the families treating you?
First family, I was like the older sister. Kids loved me. Parents treated me like their oldest daughter. I was part of the family. It
Yeah.
was a lot of kids, but I was part of the family. But at the same time, it's only when I was exposed to other au pairs that I realized that, oh, I might be part of the family, but there's some things that I've overlooked. Like, I would work on the weekends
Girl.
because I'm part of the family. I'm in the
Right.
middle of nowhere. Other au pairs, the next au pair was like an hour and a half away from me. I'm
Wow.
in a new neighborhood, no buses during the weekend. The next train station to DC was 2 hours away.
Wow.
So I'm only exposed to what I had, and I was having fun with the family. But then when I met my peers, and they were talking about their experiences and where they've been. And I'm like, I've been stuck in the same community,
Right.
you know? So it was like that. The second family, I was the help. I was the help. I have a set schedule. I have a list of checkoffs that needs to be done. I need to present myself a certain way. So I can't just rock up wearing leggings and oversized t-shirts like I did in the previous household. Everybody was on edge. So I kind of understand why they were so militant, but at the same time, as militant as they were, when I raised concerns about my experience with them, I was simply ignored by my LCC because she respected them a lot. They were very well known in the area. They had a lot of money. Well, not a lot, but a lot, enough to be
Okay.
respected.
Right.
So I raised it twice to a point where I was like, I think I want to go home if this is how it's going to be because I can't be stuck in the house unhappy. And at the time, I didn't drive.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even say, oh, I'm going to like for a drive down the street. You can't even do that. It's COVID. So I don't know.
Right.
I just didn't have an outlet, which is
Yeah.
very difficult when someone you trust, which is the LCC, is not supposed to be taking sides, but it's definitely taking sides. And it's clear that you won't get any help because I had options, but I also wanted to be safe because I wasn't sure what
Mhm.
was going on. Then the third family, mix of both worlds. I feel like it was more personal with them, like what was going on with their family that kind of made my experience uncomfortable. But other than that, they were probably the most helpful. I knew that if I had a problem, I'd rather go to them than go to my LCC.
So, what are your concerns, or what are the cons for you with the au pair program, like for your experience?
The whole foundation of it is kind of broken to me because it just boils down to how the whole program is kind of marketed or advertised. I think that's the initial issue. I remember I had a conversation with one of my first host mom and how she viewed the program and how I viewed the program because she herself said she kind of felt trapped because now they had these fees and then you have to pay for that. But initially, the way that it was advertised, it was just simple, cheap childcare. That's how it's advertised. And then to us, I felt like it was like have the best time of your life, get cheap education, and live the American dream.
Right.
You know, it was too complete. Because if it was live the American dream, and then the host families would be like, and we're happy to welcome you, it wouldn't be childcare,
Right.
you know? So I think that's what's broken, the advertising of it. I feel like there's a miscommunication with how they present the whole program, both to host families and au pairs. But it's true though. It's
Right.
so true. And like as much as I don't know, I know like some au pairs, like we argue a lot about this with one of my friends.
Yeah.
She used to always say, "Why do you guys complain about the program?" But at the same time, I'm always like, as much research as you can do about the program, you don't know exactly what it is until you're in it.
Exactly. And I also think that, I used to be that individual that's like, we kind of know what we're signing ourselves up for. However, there is a great
Yeah,
that a lot of people are not aware of until you are a part of the program, and that is the problem. So as much as people say, oh, you should know what you're signing yourself up for, you don't really know until you're in it, because
yeah,
the way that it's marketed, number one, is not truthful. So, and also
not at all.
situations depend on what kind of family you're with. If you're with a rich family that has cars and vehicles and all that, your experience is going to be way more
And
better.
I feel like that's most of the expectations that au pairs have. I don't know, there's so many things that I would love to say about this topic because the research with it too, when you like look for the information initially when you're interested in it. I mean, you have Google, you can read reviews, you can see which one's the most trusted agency and all of those things. Then you go to YouTube, you watch all the ways of getting it, and then you find these horror stories, and then you find these fantastic stories. Even the research about it is kind of like it doesn't give you much. I
Yeah.
don't think it gives you enough.
So, what has your positive experiences been like? Do you have anything positive to share about the program?
Okay. Yes, I do. I mean, personally, I grew up pretty quickly in this program. Yeah, you just have to be smart
Mhm.
and make sure that you have your own back too. Apart from that, I got to see America, which was great. One of the families, they were very big travelers. I got to see a lot of places that I've only seen on TV, which was awesome. Could have been able to do that myself if I had my weekends free, but
Right.
that was, I mean, it was awesome. All expenses paid, girl. That's 200 a week is not doing anything. So I enjoyed that part of the program. Apart from that, I know what gentle parenting is, self-therapy now. So I don't know. I think that's about it. Just seeing the country and not paying for it. That's about it. Other than that, I knew what my job was from the beginning. So
What do you think lacks, or what do you, as an au pair or previous au pair, whatever the case is, what do you feel like you are lacking in terms of support?
there's nobody there to listen to us.
Yeah.
As much as like there's LCCs, I think the LCCs are just more commission based.
Mhm.
Like commission as in like getting the families and keeping the families. It's more about them and getting as many families. And the listening part, like I don't think they listen to the au pairs. Even if like I think I don't want to name drop, but one of the au pairs in my cluster even had like family connections to the main office of that agency. She herself that said that the LCC was never going to be kicked out because she's a lawyer and she's been doing this for years and she's also offering some favors or something like that with the agency. And I feel like because of those kinds of situation and those highly respected people being part of the program, au pairs are never going to be listened to because the LCC would rather take sides. I also think that the parents or the family should be involved in the orientation.
Yeah,
They
that's a
definitely should be involved in the orientation, not only for them to understand that they bring in someone from a complete different area or part of the world. I don't know, but like I feel like they should experience that first time when everybody comes. They should be there as well. So it's less of a when is the new nanny coming and more of when is the au pair coming? We're here to welcome her. Let's see her views about America before we, put her in our house. I don't know that if that makes sense, but I really feel like they should be involved. That would make at least a smidgen of a difference.
I think my main issue is just like the LCC part when things go wrong. I feel like when things are fine and everything, goes well between the family and the au pair, that is okay. The problem is when things go wrong. One, I think no, I think right now, I think like au pairs are very bold and they don't give a fuck.
Yes.
We will rematch.
Because I feel like there's enough information now out there. But now I'm seeing more and more, not only South Africans, but like from everywhere talking
Yeah.
about their American experience and
Yeah.
being an au pair.
And which is great because we need all the exposure that can go there. One thing I knew for myself is that I did not want to be with a family that lived in a rural area. That was a heck no for me.
Oh my goodness. And the thing is, with the lack of information I had, even going to do my interviews, because I live in a township, and our township had like these network outages and stuff. It wasn't like a thing back then, but like we knew,
Mhm.
okay, no internet around this time. So
Right.
during the interview process, I'd go to the library and do my interviews at night because of the time difference or
Mhm.
early in the morning because it was the only place with Wi-Fi. When I tell you, when I got to Maryland, Port Tobacco, I did not know where I was. And I did not even know, like, didn't even have a clue that a place like that in America existed.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, there's just trees everywhere. Because we were like in the middle of like the woods in a new neighborhood. So there was nobody else but us and some old couple down the street.
Damn.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
girl. You were in the boondoos.
I would, girl, if I had Google and knew how to like, okay, I need to Google Maryland, I would have Googled that and I've been like, oh, now you're gonna live with 5 kids in the middle of nowhere. It's easy.
Girl, did your family ever ask about your culture? Like, was there an actual cultural exchange?
No, no.
No.
The second one, they like my bread. They
Yeah.
like chukcheka, so I just made it for the kids. That
Yeah.
was the only cultural exchange.
Mhm.
And the only sharing of culture that I did was with the kids. It wasn't like the parents asking me about my culture. It was more of, Mommy, Zizi taught me how to say hello in Zulu.
Yeah.
And that's like something that the kid maybe overheard me here. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if I'm speaking to the phone, they'd be like, "Oh, can I learn your language?"
Right.
But it was never something that they were interested in. It was just assumptions all the way.
Did you work more than 45 hours for any
Oh
of
yeah, oh yeah, girl.
that's
Oh
pretty much
yes.
the expectation, right?
In fact, I worked so much in my first year. I even forgot that I had vacation days. I never took any vacation days on my first year.
Girl.
Yeah. So I'd work anytime they wake me up. So I remember this one time they woke me up at 2. Girl, we gotta go. I was like, where we going? I'm up. But it
Yeah.
was like, she was like, I need to study. I can hear the baby like moving around in the bedroom. Can you just like be in the bedroom and I'll be downstairs? If something happens, just come call me. We can move the sponge mattress next to the old bed.
The ghetto, girl.
The ghetto child.
Ghetto. Bombastic side.
Yeah. With that specific house, it was easier because they had older kids so they can do some stuff for themselves. But other than that, even on Sunday, I'd go to church with them. During church, I'm with the kids at the Sunday school. It wasn't like a time we need to go to Walmart. I'm done working. They're gonna come knock on my door. We're taking the kids. We go to Walmart. Everybody's going. Yes.
Double it and give it to the next person.
Yes,
Well, that's
yes.
unfortunate, and I'm sorry that you had that kind of experience. And, it sucks. It really does. And I feel like something needs to be done. And,
I
the
agree.
first step is just making sure that, like, people's stories are out there and they're being heard. And, the more traction this gets and the more attention it gets, like,
This friend of hers was like, "What kind of program is this?" And
yeah.
I explained it. They all kind of looked at each other, and my host mom was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like slave trade. I know. Don't judge me. It's the cheapest option out there." And that moment, I was like, "Wow, okay, this is." So she knows.
Yeah, they're aware. They don't care. It's cheap for them. It's good for their
Yeah,
pockets. Like, it's
yeah,
something, something morally is not okay, but you still go for it because one, the majority's going for it, and two, it's better for your pockets. Like, girl, we could that's a
yeah.
whole nother can of worms. My last question is there any advice, tips, message you would like to give out there to a young 17-year-old, 16-year-old looking to do this program in the future? What would you tell her?
I mean, with all the equipment and stuff we have now with technology, I feel like the best I can say is research. Even though, like, you won't get all the information that you think you might need, but and social media, like, go to social media, go to those like influencers or creators, even especially the small creators. Go DM them, send a DM, ask them questions, ask as many questions. Be sure. And don't go too young. I know. Please don't go too young. You need to have that backbone.
Well, yeah.
You need to have a backbone. And if you think you do, try it out, but you don't have to stay in a sticky situation. There's always a better option up there for sure.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Thank you so much for joining me for this
No problem.
interview. And you are okay with this going on a separate channel where I will be having all these interviews posted?
Yes.